Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
The KSM Show.
My name is Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. I have almost been following the program of KSM for the past 20 years. It's a program I've always been watching carefully. In fact, before he came on Pan-African, he used to be on another station, I can't remember now, where the program had been so interesting. And I will call on all Ghanaians who are very much interested in objectivity and also the history of this country to always watch this program. It's a program that is educative and very, very, very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, folks, yesterday this thing was getting hot. So I said, Charlie, I'll have to let you stay because there are a few things that I want to get into. So, Senior, welcome again.
Thank you, Sidia.
And we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, where we left off, I'll come back and we'll take it off from there. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
Hello, my name is Bridget Osimizini. You're watching the KSM show on Pan-African TV, or if you're like me, addicted to YouTube, go to KSM's page on YouTube and watch fantastic interview, great conversation, relax, look, great questions, but not with a bonyo face, you know. Why are you doing this? You know, no, not that kind of interview, no, but still gets it done. Always the legendary KSM. My name is Bridget Osu. I say, hey, watch you. If you don't watch, if you want your brain to be small, don't watch.
Senior, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad you stayed.
I'm so happy to be back. It's very stimulating.
Very stimulating. Okay, Senior, I remember the last time I mentioned this, that you have a hard task. Or let me ask you this. How hard a task is it for you to sell Alan now? Because I know people in the very, very beginning, they said, oh, Alan, one guy actually said, oh no, he's just on the demolition course. That his whole purpose of running is to make sure that Bahomia doesn't win. He's there on the demolition course. That's how he put it. Another person too said, no, the man has some gravitas, so I think he wants to be a kingmaker. You know, you are saying, no, this is the leader we're looking for. He's the one that's going to transform Ghana. What is your reaction to that he's on a demolition course? He just wants to be a kingmaker.
Let me state emphatically that Alan is in this to win. And he will win.
He will win.
There hasn't been a time in this country when it's been more favorable for an independent, non-partisan president to lead us in a direction where the majority who are thirsty for quality leadership will go than this time. Alan will put us to work in a different way. He will change our mentality about how we put ourselves out. He will make integrity valuable again. He will diminish corruption, and he will give you good reason to be proud that you are Ghanaian. And
This is a good soundbite.
Yes.
He will make integrity vulnerable again. What is the value on integrity now from where you sit?
Where we are now, because of protocol, favorism, partisanship, taking care of party instead of the nation, integrity has gone to the dogs. There is no fun in running on the basis of integrity, because as so many people are undermining the system and getting away with it. So what is the incentive to be clean? What is the incentive to protect the state? None. Because those who are taking from the state, those who are not protecting the state, are getting away with it. They are doing it regime after regime after regime. And so you look stupid when you choose not to indulge. And in the end, you are not celebrated. That's what I mean when I say integrity doesn't pay. Because nobody will celebrate you. You do it in a vacuum, and you lose out in the end, because you will not take any benefits away from your service. You will not take material benefit. You will not take respect and recognition. You will just have lost out. But what is the essence of public service? Transformation. You should find your happiness in service to others. And when that service comes to fruition, that is when society recognizes and rewards you. And the Ghanaian pie is not even baked yet. It's such a huge pie that if you are in a position to help to bake and make it bigger, you can only bring so many more people into it. And those people will be forever grateful to you. That is the basis of restoring trust and integrity. Then you'll be recognized. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying a lot. I understand what you're saying. let me, and people are also saying that you're looking at Ghana as an independent.
Yes, he cannot win.
You can't win as an independent.
So I'm saying that this is the best time for an independent to win. Why is that? None of the two parties is offering a transformative agenda.
What are they offering?
The leader of the NDC, because a lot depends on the leadership. And I have to make that distinction very clear right now. You have the MPP, you have the NDC. These are institutions which throw up individuals to lead. And the constitutional structure is that those individuals are the ones who end up with executive power and authority. So if you say the NDC, in the end, it resides in who becomes president on the ticket of the NDC. That president does not necessarily respond to the NDC's demands and desires. Maybe he can pretend or partially implement the manifesto that whilst they were being sponsored by the party, they led to create. But once they have the power, they use a lot of their own discretion. It doesn't always favor the party. You understand? So at the level of the presidency in Ghana, we are literally individuals. We are independent. The party takes you there. It's like a vehicle. It's like riding a horse. You get down off the horse and you are inside and the horse is outside. You drive the car, you get there, you get out of the car, you are inside and the car is parked outside in the rain. So the party is the car, the party is the horse. The man walks inside and he has control. Power goes to one person. So now we are saying that John Mahama as a person didn't distinguish himself when he led the NDC. He presided over crisis and ended up with Dumso, the IMF, and a huge difficulty in the financial sector. Finance is the blood of every nation. Finance is the blood of every company. Finance is the blood of every household. Without finances, you are gone. John Mahama confessed that he had messed up the finances of this country to all of us. Ended up for credibility with the IMF. Ran down an economy which was at 8% average to 3.9, even though he had oil, a new commodity, to help him. So what has he got to offer? Because he hasn't explained himself from that time. And he hasn't said anything new. All he does is critique what the MPP said about him and nothing else. And critique MPP's policies. He hasn't. What is the 24-hour economy? Can you explain the 24-hour economy? None of them can. Because it's simple. To have a 24-hour economy, you need production. It's a demand-driven process. If we are producing for Africa, if we are producing this beautiful wooden table for Africa, and Zimbabwe demands 1,000 and Nigeria wants 2,000, and you can produce only 500 in a daytime, then to meet your production, you have 3 shifts running 24 hours in order to meet demand. If you don't have the demand, you can't have 24 hours. So how do you do the demand? He hasn't said anything about production. He hasn't said anything. So the 24-hour economy, as far as Mahama is concerned, is a slogan. It doesn't give hope, direction, vision of competence to the young people who need jobs. They are the essence of this campaign, the young people. Come to the MPP. Same old, same old, same old. Addo comes in and says he's bringing an economist. He confesses he is not an economist. He's a governance person. He's bringing an economist who will transform this country. Today, we are in a worse hole than we inherited because there's been no transformation. It's a heightened form of borrow and spend, tax and spend. What they came to meet, that the NDC found unsustainable, is the same thing we've now followed, and to the point where we literally stop paying our debts. I mean, I want to stop short of saying bankrupt, but we were bankrupt. For the first time ever, we went to the IMF and a condition came that we had to have haircuts. It can't be lower than that. We've experienced doom so. Where are we? We are in a debt trap. We are borrowing to pay debt. So there has been no transformation. I'm not saying nothing happened. You have to. The social component of Addo's government is supremely interesting. The investment in education, the investments in health. But what have driven those investments? Debt. The model is to borrow and build roads, borrow and build schools, borrow and build hospitals, borrow and build affordable housing, borrow and build water systems. It's not sustainable. There's no transformation. So it doesn't give hope to the young person, the one who has voted twice, the one who has voted 3 times. He's going to vote a 4th time. The one who is now going to vote. What is that person's concern? The person wants to be a dignified member of society. How do you become a dignified member of society? The space, the opportunities that will enable you use your talent to fend for yourself and for your nation and your family to benefit. You need a job to be able to marry, to have a housing of your own, to have transportation, to participate in the social life of your country. Jobs are essential for social cohesion and national security. If you don't transform the economy, you don't do jobs. It's as simple as that. Government cannot succeed in creating artificial jobs. Jobs like NAPCO, it doesn't work. Temporary fixes don't work. You understand?
Was NAPCO temporary?
Yes, 3 years. 70 million a month for 3 years. 100,000 people, pay them, keep them off the streets and pretend that they are working. It was for 3 years. Now it's become an embarrassment because they couldn't dissolve it properly and for fear of a political backlash. But in truth, if you had invested 70 million a month in small and medium scale enterprises, you would have had a more sustainable base. That's what Alan Kyerematen is about. So the difference is that Alan is now offering the young people of this country a plan, the great transformational plan. He is the only politician in modern times. Even Kwame Nkrumah was in power before he developed the 7-year development plan. Alan is not in power. Alan is seeking the presidency. And already he's told the whole world what he will do when he becomes president. You can interrogate it anywhere. It's online. You can download it. As soon as you hit the Great Transformational Plan, the world will tell you that it's Alan's plan to change Ghana. The two major parties who have run this country together for 32 years don't have a manifesto up to now, 4 months before the elections. So what are they going to do differently? This document has been subjected to rigorous technical analysis. Alan subjected himself to questioning by dons, professors, academics, technicians from Slogan across the spectrum: economics, natural resource management, governance. He subjected himself to questioning for 3 hours by these dons, and the book stood up to the test. Solid stress tests. Less than 2 days ago, the Great Transformational Plan stood up to the test. So you are dealing with somebody who has a vision, who knows where to go, who knows what he's doing.
So
And that's the difference.
he's not in to be a kingmaker.
Alan is not in there to make the NPP feel bad or to prevent the NDC from being. He wants to put his best foot forward so that Ghana benefits from the best possible leadership. And Ghana needs transformational leadership at this time. And Alan is a transformational leader. He has a transformational plan and he has an implementation plan. Because one of our difficulties is implementation.
As an independent,
Yeah.
talking about one of your difficulties being implementation.
Yes.
As an independent, and now that he's not going on any party ticket,
Yeah.
let's go into his responsibility to select ministers.
So
To
the implementation difficulty is not Alan's as an independent. It's a national problem. Our ability to implement to the end is a problem because we don't value integrity. Meritocracy is also gone out. We do a lot of mediocre things and nobody follows up.
yeah.
So that's a problem for implementation, which Alan will deal with. Like I said, he will make us work in different ways. So how is he going to form a government? Simple. He will follow the rules. The rules allow an independent to be president. But the rules say you must take 50% of your government from parliament. Now let me make this very clear. It doesn't say from the majority or the minority. It says from parliament. So Alan says, as an independent, the country is so polarized, so divided that he wants to unite the country. So he's going to form a government of national unity, where every strata of society will be included. So to meet the rules, he has a government of 40 ministers. He's certain. He's named the ministers, 40. So it means that a majority is 21. So out of the 275 MPs in parliament, it could be made up of MPP, NDC, Independence, CPP, PNC, whatever. He's going to select 21 competent individuals. Now you tell me, you are in parliament, your government didn't succeed, and you are offered the opportunity to serve your country by the sitting president. You will tell the president that because you are NDC, MPP, you won't serve. you will serve. This is the opportunity to build this country together. So he gets his 21 from parliament across the aisle, MPP, NDC, independence, whatever, provided you are worth, you have that, you are a person of timber, substance, caliber, merit, and you can do it. The other 19, he picks from society, the religious groupings, faith-based organizations, traditional authorities, the private sector, students, academics, lecturers, artisans, all these stakeholders who are feeling excluded from governance because they are just being told by a small group of people at the head of a political party that we'll do this for you. That's the manifesto promises. Oh, when we come, we'll do this. Oh, when we come, we'll do this. When we come, we'll do this. And they don't ask you what you want to do. In the end, what they are doing has no relevance to your direct needs. You understand? So Alan is going to build his government based on meritocracy and an inclusive process that brings every party, every recognizable organization, entity on board. What it does is break the partisanship. They break the winner takes all. You've heard about winner takes all. That is what is leading to the so-called state capture. Because we are so polarized. One party comes into power, and their sole object is to protect themselves. So whether they can do the job or not, they put themselves in positions to protect the spaces for themselves and exclude the other group. So we are constantly politicking.
Yeah.
Because the other group can't wait to get into power and also take the spaces for themselves. It has nothing to do with merit. It has nothing to do with the progress of Ghana. It has nothing to do with the youth who are coming up. It has nothing to do with the aspirations of the ordinary average Ghanaian. It has everything to do with identifying with a sectional group and benefiting from the largesse of that group. He's going to break that. If we all come together, we'll be thinking about Ghana. As an independent, he's not beholden to any side. He's not beholden to any side. So he can even fight corruption. He will fight corruption, which is one of the biggest problems that we have. He has a clear plan to fight corruption. You know, so Alan will form a government based on the law. The law says an independent is allowed. And like I said, technically, all the presidents are independent. They go into office, they don't carry the MPP into office. They go into office by themselves. You understand? They are independents. So they are in the office and they are exercising power. Now that you go to parliament, it says a majority from parliament. So it could be from any side of parliament. And if, KSM, I'm sure you don't want to be in parliament. You are too accomplished already. If you were to be in parliament on a ticket of a party, and the independent president comes and says, KSM, you are brilliant. Can you please step up and help Ghana by supporting me to expand the creative arts? They say, oh, no, I'm waiting for my president to come into power before I exploit my talents. It won't happen. It won't happen. So yes, Alan is in it to win. Yes, there's a large group of voters who believe in him, the youth who are expecting a compass, who are expecting genuine leadership, who are expecting truth and integrity and meritocracy to reign again, who want to believe that integrity is fashionable. That group will vote for him. And when he becomes president, he will unite this country. Then the MPP, NDC, they can all rebuild themselves properly in the context of service institutions. They should recover their service mentality rather than
show some love, man. Oh my goodness. So let me go into the other things. Okay, so you're talking about Alan, the truth of the matter, Ghana. You need cashitos. Yes. You know, Alan says jobs for the people, cash for the people. Yes. How cash worthy is a movement for justice now? I mean, it takes money to send the word out. It takes money to how visible is Alan out there now?
See, something very interesting is happening. In the beginning, when the movement was launched last year, September, there was a feeling that it would die out in a few months.
It was a demolition movement.
Yes, it would die out in a few months. Then it kept growing. There was a deliberate attempt to freeze us out of the media, but it kept growing. Now it's thawed. We're in the media. But more importantly, we have found common ground with other political entities and individuals who also feel a need for transformational change in this country, who aspire to the same things Alan wants. So a coalition has come into being, an alliance rather, because a coalition is a merger. An alliance is more of a coming together to do something in common. That is the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. And that group, again for the first time ever, have easily and comfortably endorsed Mr. Kyerematen as their presidential candidate. So the movement has expanded. It's brought on other constituencies. who also have voters.
Who are the others who are joining the movement now?
At the moment, we have over 9 other entities. National Interest Movement. I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Abu Sakara, the National Interest Movement, and others. We have the Ghana First Coalition, Bishop Samuel Mensah, the Ghana National Party, Mr. Ampofo, the Union government led by Kwesi Addo Odike, very experienced political person. Third Force Movement, Mr. Wilson.
They are all part of the movement?
Yes.
Part of the coalition
The
for the movement of
coalition.
justice?
Everybody is maintaining their identity because it's not a merger. But we are all working towards one purpose. We are all campaigning for Mr. Kyerematen to become president of Ghana. So Mr. Kyerematen remains the founder and leader of the movement for change. But all the organizations and people I've mentioned are putting the organizational structures, their people, behind making Mr. Kyerematen president. And it's an open-ended process. The coalition keeps expanding. And if from September to now, an individual steps out as an independent and is able to produce a plan for the people of Ghana, and the two large institutions, duopoly, who have been running this country for 6 years, are unable to put together their manifesto, it says a lot about the capacity of the movement. It says a lot about the strength and intentions of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change when it comes to ensuring transformational change in Ghana. So it is not about being a spoiler. I mean, why would you invest money, effort, and time to make sure the MPP fails? What have you gained? You're not part of the MPP. So you don't gain anything by investing money, putting your reputation on the line in order to compete in the political process so that MPP fails. You don't gain anything by it. But you want to put yourself forward and demonstrate that you are the best. Because that's what this country needs. This country needs Alan. This country needs the best. This country needs transformation. And if the two cannot offer transformation, you need an alternative. You need a credible alternative. And that credible alternative is Alan. Because whilst NDC is selling an empty slogan, 24-hour economy, Baumia is run away from the economy, he is selling digitalization. Alan is selling transformation. That's what we need, the great transformational plan. Once you transform this economy, you stabilize everything in it, and you grow the people. You have social cohesion, you have economic growth, you have prosperity. So you can see it. It says stability. You stabilize the economy first. Growth. The IMF will only help you to stabilize. They won't make you grow. But when you mobilize local capital and invest in starch, in salt, in palm, in bauxite, then you have growth, genuine jobs. And then you are resilient because it is driven internally. So external shocks like COVID, the Ukraine war that the government has been trumpeting will not impact you because your growth doesn't depend on borrowing or importing from those places. Then you have prosperity. So the great transformational plan, stability, growth, resilience, prosperity. And that is what we've dubbed a new policy blueprint for Ghana's transformation.
Show some love, man. Senior, speaking of the coalition, there's a very interesting thing happening right now. The emergence of Cheddar. He's seen as youthful, and the youth are actually trooping to him. Would you encourage Cheddar to be a part of the coalition? And then what happens, basically?
Yes, it is true. Cheddar is youthful and he has a certain following, but I would dispute trooping. Trooping means they are all following, but not all of them are. Okay. A lot of them believe in Alan. But again, what you're saying is very valid, whether or not Cheddar comes as part of the alliance. I think that it will be in his interest to be part of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change.
To be in his interest?
It will be in his interest because it gives him opportunity to expand his space and get involved so that the people he's leading will get a share of the potential benefits that comes from uniting. The only difference, because the alliance is open, the doors are open, people keep coming in. And the only issue is that the initial members have already endorsed Mr. Kyerematen as the presidential candidate of the alliance, and that will not change. So it's important that whoever is coming on board, and I would love to see each other come on board, accepts that leadership slot is already embedded in Mr. Kyerematen's personality, but that you enjoy the benefit of offering a united, strong, powerful force to dislodge the duopoly. After all, you want to improve the quality of lives for your people. As long as the person leading is competent and a visionary, you should be happy.
Okay. Senior, on this note, I have to thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
folks, for those of you who are watching, the KSM Show is a platform for intelligent talk and analysis. I've made this platform open to everyone. Some have responded, some have not. And there are many of you who jump on the Facebook page to talk plenty. Why haven't you invited so and so and so? Trust me, I'm not going to give you the list of people I've invited, but I've invited everybody you can think of. Those who have chosen to respond are here, and they have made their case. So if you want to come on and respond or make your case, do come. Just understand that I will ask questions when I don't understand, as I did. Mintia said, yeah, maybe, sir. So, Massa, you have done your work. Now, just to end on this, say Alan wins. No afro. Mr. Boabing as more Boabing. And then I'll pay. What position will you want in the transformation era?
First of all, Alan will come to this show.
Oh, yeah. He will come.
It's so important to him.
Okay.
He will come. Personally, himself. Secondly, for me, it's always been a question of service. As I told you, growing up, I always have happened to be in the forefront of leadership. And leadership is about service. When the next man is happy and says thank you and smiles to bed, I sleep better. So if Mr. Kyerematen says, this is what you will do and will help to ensure that my transformation agenda is successful, I'll gladly do it. It's not my place to determine
where you be.
But I have absolute trust in Mr. Kyerematen and that he will lead this country in the right direction. The people of merit across the aisle, irrespective of their background, will be brought on board to help to transform this country.
Show some love, man. Oh, wow. Well, we have come to the end of another exciting, I think, thrilling KSM show. And I'd like to, one more time for some one more thing, man. And as I told you, yeah, Alan will be here himself. There are so many questions that I wanted to ask, but I think, in fairness, I should direct that to Alan. But at least we have had the general scope of what the whole thing is about. And when he comes, not if, when he comes, we shall continue to talk. Until then, KSM signing off saying, what do I always say? We are out of, let the whole world say, yeah.
The KSM Show.